Hi everyone, and welcome once again to First Presbyterian Church's Praises and Paper Folding with me, Sherry Chenin. We're on week 16. This is our final one. We're doing the rainbow today. Really exciting stuff with an exciting guest. So come join us now. Praises and Paper Folding is a 16-week video series where we will be learning origami while creating Noah's Ark. Working with many people, we are going to fold Noah, 12 animals, the Ark, and at the very end we want to bring everybody together who's been folding with us to create a humongous rainbow. After that, we're going to ask everybody who has completed a Noah's Ark at home to bring it to the church to display for everyone to enjoy. Hello and welcome to week 16 of Praises and Paper Folding. We have made it to the rainbow. And I have a very special guest with me today. Hi, Noah.
Hi.
How's it going?
Extremely well.
Oh, good. Thank you for joining me today.
You're very welcome.
And Noah decided to pass on the actual folding, but he said he was welcome to have a conversation with me. So we'll be asking him some questions along the way. Today we have obviously rainbow colored papers that we're using. So we've got these, and I began constructing what we're going to do. When you think of a rainbow, you usually think of the rainbow and the colors going down this way. We're doing something a little bit different. What we're actually doing is we're going to fold them and put them together and create this spiral that's just going to continue. And we have a framework to put those on here at the church. And if you're doing it at home, I guess I'm going to leave that up to you to figure out how you're going to do that. But at any rate, we'll end up with this, and it will continue in a spiral. I'm going to show you how to do two of them today, and then I'm also going to show you how to put them together so that you have that information. So let's go.
I'm familiar with putting things together.
Yes, you are. Noah, if you're ready, we'll get started.
Let's do it.
So, I'm going to do the same. There's 9 folds to this. Very, very simple. And I'm going to actually do it twice with 2 pieces of paper, just to give you the practice of it. So, we're going to start with our paper upside down, color side down. And you want to fold it in half, but you don't want to crimp all the way across. You just want to put a little crimp right there. And I'm going to go through and show you with black marks everything. So you've got that right in the center. And then you want to take this edge and put it up to that fold right there. And again, just that little crimp. So we have these 2 tiny little spots right here. And the reason we're doing that is now we're going to take this edge and we're going to fold it right along here. So we're going to take it to that second black line that I just made. And then you're going to go ahead and press it all the way across and open it up. And then you're going to turn it sideways and fold across that way. We're going to do another valley fold. So at the moment, just to show you, you've now made that fold and that fold. Okay, so we're going to take this edge and take it to the middle and do the same thing on the other side. Then, having it in front of you, you're going to turn the left side over onto the right side. So if it was facing you, I'll do this way. You're going to turn the left side over onto the right side. You want the opening to be to your right. And, excuse me, you will notice there is a fold right here. So what we're going to do is this line, this fold that's right here, we're going to fold it down so that it comes down to here. This is going to fold over to here. So we're going to Do that. Now when you've done that, you have created this fold right here. So you've taken it down like this, and now you have sort of a V shape. You might want to go ahead and take that and fold it the other way, because we do have an inside reverse fold to do on this particular fold. So if you open it up, you will see that you have created that fold here and here. So all we do for an inside reverse fold is we're going to push this down, and when you do, and I'll do it this way so you can see it, when you do, it'll fold right on that line, and it comes together in that same V shape, but you've got the paper on the inside, hence the inside reverse fold. And it's going to be cranky about getting together. I'll make that a little bit neater, but you can see that we've just taken it and put it on the inside. So I am going to neaten that up just a little bit before I go on, but that's how simple the actual fold is. It's not that difficult at all. So now I'm going to turn my attention to you now. We've been talking about you an awful lot and about faith and such, and I want to ask you some kind of practical questions which will probably be answered with faith-based answers. I just wonder, what was it like? Here you are, God has spoken to you and said you're a righteous man, I'm going to save you and your family, and I'm going to destroy the rest of the earth, and I want you to build this ark. What was going through your mind? What were you thinking as you were building this ark and it took so long? And can you give us some idea?
Well, it was an enormous undertaking from the beginning, and it really required constant communication with God to know that I was on the right trail. Because if it had just come once and then all I did was try and do it on my own, it would have been overwhelming. But we went about it day by day, week by week. I mean, I was 500 when it started, so it was a family project, and I was working hard to make sure that we stayed on track. But I trusted that what God was telling me and showing me was what I was supposed to do, and that was hard, but it was the right thing to do.
I think you're right. It can be hard, and in our lives nowadays, when God wants us to do something, we have to trust it's the right thing to do. And truly, I think we're asked so much less than what He asked of you. So,
hey, large or small, when God calls us to do something, it most often requires us to do something outside of our comfort zone.
We're going to go ahead and make the same fold again. I'm not going to draw the black lines this time. I'm just going to take you through the fold, and then we'll talk a little bit more with our friend Noah here. So I've got my purple paper here, and I'm going to turn it over with the colored side down. And once again, I'm going to fold this in half, but just make that little crimp right there so I can see that, and I can take this edge and fold it to that point. And all of this is just so that we can actually take this edge and fold it down to here. I guess it's being folded about 3/4 of the way down. I'm probably wrong on that. I've been doing a lot of geometry, and today my mind isn't functioning with the math. Okay, then we've got that fold that we just made here, and we're going to go ahead and turn it and fold it this way in half. So we'll have those two valley folds. We have the first one we made, and then the second one. So our next step is to, the one that's right in the middle, we're going to fold each edge into the middle. And when that's facing us, that fold that we made, the first one we made, should be further away from us. And we're going to go ahead and close this up from left to right. And I said I wasn't going to make any lines, but I'm having a hard time seeing this fold, so I'm going to just go ahead and do that for my own benefit, because this paper is darker. So I just want to be able to see that. Okay, so this fold right here is going to get folded down to here by making a V. And I'm going to, because I made that line, I'm going to turn it this way so I can see it. You can turn the paper any way you need to accomplish what needs to be done. So I've gone ahead and I've folded that. And again, I'm going to fold it the other way just because I really want that crease. And when I open it up, I have that V right here, and if I push it in and I bring it together, there is my sort of V shape with it all tucked neatly inside. So that's that. It's really that simple. Okay, Noah. I've had all these people on with me, chatting with me, and I think something we're all curious about is what it was like on the Ark, because we know it wasn't like a pleasure cruise ship. So what was your time on the Ark like?
Well, when we started and we gathered everybody up and on and the water started coming and the water started rising, it was pretty scary. It was unlike anything we had ever seen before. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know where we were going. We didn't know what things would be like. And then, the waters continued and it just raised up, and we kept going on the Ark, and after a few days, then a few weeks, we kind of settled into a rhythm, and then it started to get a little anxious as family wanted to get back to normal. The animals were a little stir crazy wanting to get back to normal, so we started sending out a raven and then the dove, and we were trying to find how to make things normal again, and it just was tough being there, but we knew that God had us all the way through. So as difficult as it was to go through it, we knew that God was with us.
I thank you for that answer. And as you were talking, I made this connection in my head, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're talking about family going kind of stir crazy and wanting to get back to normal, and that sounds a lot like times right now as we're dealing with this pandemic time and life is not what it was, and we're trying to stay settled a little bit more and not go out, and we want that normalcy.
It's like being in an ark.
But I think what you said in the truth is we have to know that God is faithful, God has us, and we will get through it.
Just as we did, so will you.
Thank you. We're done with folding, and now I'm going to show you how to put them together. When you look at this piece of paper, on one end you kind of have these two little pockets, and on the other end you have sort of a W. So it's just kind of like plugging a light into a light socket. We're going to put one end into the other. So I'm going to go here with the green. I've already put these together, and you'll notice that on the green here I've got the W. So I need the other end on the blue, and I've got those two little pockets. And this is not tricky, but it's one of those things you sometimes end up kind of grumbling as you're going through it. What we want to do is we want to take this edge, this bit, and this bit, and put them into these two pockets that are here. And so I've got to turn it around the right way to begin with. It's going to slide on this way, and I'm going to take, and I hope that this really shows up in the close-up, I'm going to take that green and kind of slide the blue over it, and then come over to the other side and try to do the same thing on the other side. And the great thing is it's paper, and it's pretty tough paper. It's probably not gonna, and then it just slides right on. Oh, that was so nice. And so I'm gonna do that again. So I have the W here, and so I look on this one, and I find the end with the 2 pockets, and I'm going to set the blue in there, just the one edge of the paper, not the bit that's folded, and get this in there, and I can just slide it on. And so as you see, you can see the spiral that's beginning to happen. Now, those of you who are going to be with us when we actually put together our rainbow for the sanctuary, we're going to have a lot of reds and a lot of oranges and a lot of every color. So we're not going to individually put together our rainbows. We're going to get all the reds together, then the oranges, then the yellows, and I know there will be those of you who will become experts at this and be able to just slide those right in, and I'm really looking forward to working with you on that. So when you're done though, you can see this is just the beginning of a spiral, and we've got our rainbow colors here, and I think it's a lot of fun. So I'm really glad, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us for all of this. But I'm going to turn and talk to our friend again. So Noah, we've talked about building the ark, being on the ark, and now the next thing is, what was it like when finally the waters receded and you were able to step out on dry land? If I remember correctly, you were on the ark for over a year.
It was a long time. But I'll tell you what, when we stepped off the ark, it was such a complex of emotions. There was the thankfulness for the direction and God's leading us to put the ark together so that it would hold through what was really an extensive journey. And then there was the joy of landing on dry land and knowing that there was a future for us that God had prepared. And then that rainbow. Oh, that rainbow. That was spectacular. We all marveled, and we built an altar and we praised God.
I can't even imagine what that must have been like at that point. I know that when we see rainbows nowadays, we have social media, and every time there's a rainbow, people just post pictures of rainbows because they are just so beautiful, and they're such a wonderful, beautiful promise.
I can't see a rainbow without thinking about God's love for me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I've enjoyed watching your construction, and boy, does that bring back memories.
Hopefully mostly good ones.
Mostly good ones.
Good. Well, thank you to everybody for joining us through this journey. I've had a lot of fun with you and with all of the guests that we've had, and I hope that you've enjoyed it and maybe learned something and gotten to know people a little bit better. And I look forward to what other things we might be doing in this video ministry. Really, truly, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're so welcome.
Really appreciate you taking the time. We try to treat our guests right here, and so I was just wondering if you might be interested in a snack or maybe some water.
Ah, water! Get that away from me!